Force and laws of motion. The first law of motion is stated as an object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change that state by an applied force. In other words, all objects resist a change in their state of motion. In a qualitative way, the tendency of undisturbed objects to stay at rest or to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia. That is why the first law of motion is also known as the law of inertia. A force that is just enough to cause a small cart to pick up a large velocity, the same force will produce a negligible change in the motion of a train. The force which makes small cart to pick up a large velocity, same force will have negligible change in the motion of the train. This is because in comparison to the cart of the train, the train has a much lesser tendency to change its state of motion. Accordingly, we say that the train has more inertia than the cart. Clearly, heavier or more massive objects offer larger inertia. Quantitatively, the inertia of an object is measured by its mass. We may say thus, relate inertia and mass as follows. Inertia is the natural tendency of an object to resist a change in its state of motion or of rest. The mass of an object is a measure of its inertia. Let us recount some observations from our everyday life. During the game of table tennis, if the ball hits a player, it does not hurt him. On the other hand, when a fast-moving cricket ball hits a spectator, it may hurt him. A truck at rest does not require any attention when parked along a roadside, but a moving truck, even at speeds as low as 5 meters per second, may kill a person standing in its path. A small mass, such as a bullet, may kill a person when fired from a gun. These observations suggest that the impact produced by the objects depends on their mass and velocity. Similarly, if an object is to be accelerated, we know that a greater force is required to give a greater velocity. In other words, there appears to exist some quantity of importance that combines the object's mass and its velocity. One such property called momentum was introduced by Newton. The momentum P of an object is defined as the product of its mass m and velocity v, that is, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Momentum has both direction and magnitude. its direction is the same as that of velocity v. The SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, kg meter per second. The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. That is, the rate of change of momentum, that is P by T, that is the rate means time, is proportional to the unbalanced force acting in the direction of the force, applied in the direction of the force. That is, rate of change of momentum is proportional to the force F. Mathematical formulation of second law of motion. Suppose an object of mass m is moving along a straight line with an initial velocity u. It is moving with the initial velocity u. It is uniformly accelerated to velocity v in time t. In time t, that velocity has been increased to v by the application of a constant force F. So we increase the initial velocity u to v by applying a constant force F throughout the time t. The initial and final momentum of the object will be, this is the initial momentum, that is P1 is equal to mu. This is the final momentum, P2 is equal to mv respectively. The change in momentum is proportional to P2 minus PV. The momentum has changed because we applied the force P2 minus PV, that is mv minus mu. When you take the mass is same, take the mass as common, v minus u. The rate of change of momentum is proportional to mv minus u by t. The change in momentum is proportional to P2 minus P1. P2 is mv minus mu. M we have taken as common, v minus u. The rate of change of momentum, this is change in momentum. So when you divide by that by time, it will become rate of change of that momentum. Then the applied force F is proportional to m into v minus u divided by t. Let us remove the proportional sign by taking k constant. Then F will become k m into v minus u divided by t. We know that from the formula v is equal to u plus at, v minus u divided by t will become a. So this whole part v minus u divided by t will become a, that is acceleration. Then F will be equal to k m a. Here a is equal to v minus u by t is the acceleration, which is the rate of change of velocity. The quantity k is a constant of proportionality. The SI units of mass and acceleration are kg and meter per second square respectively. The unit of force is so chosen that the value of constant k becomes 1. For this, 1 unit of force is defined as the amount that produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object of 1 kg mass. That is 1 unit of force. On the left hand side we are taking F as 1 unit of force equals k, we are keeping like that. M we have taken 1 kg. The acceleration we are taking 1 meter per second square. Thus the value of k becomes 1. So the above equation will become F is equal to ma. The unit of force is kg meter per second square or Newton, which has the symbol N. Now let us go to the problems which are there in this. A constant force acts on an object of mass 5 kg for a duration of 2 seconds. It increases the object's velocity from 3 meters per second to 7 meters per second. Find the magnitude of the applied force. Now, if the force was applied for a duration of 5 seconds, what would be the final velocity of the object? As soon as you see this problem, don't straight away go and solve the problem. Understand the problem first. They have asked us to find out the force which has got a mass of 5 kgs and acting duration of 2 seconds, and it was traveling. See, when it was traveling at the 3 meters per second initially, when the force was applied, it has the speed increased to 7 meters per second. So we know the formulas. F is equal to ma. These are the main formulas. V is equal to u plus at. If you remember, these two is enough. So what they were given, they asked us to find out F. We know mass. They are not given acceleration. So we know that we can find out from this acceleration using V is equal to u plus at. So from this formula we get, in the previous thing that was been wrongly videoed, this is an example 9.1. A constant force acts on an object of mass 5 kgs for a duration of 2 seconds. It increases the object's velocity from 3 meters per second to 7 meters per second. Find the magnitude of an applied force. Now, if the force was applied for a duration of 5 seconds, what would be the final velocity of an object? See, before solving, let us understand the problem. There was a body which was moving at the initial velocity of 3 meters per second. When we applied the force, it has increased to 7 meters per second. The force was applied continuously for 2 seconds. So we know that there are two important formulas, F is equal to ma and V is equal to u plus at. So rest you need not remember. So we have to find out F. They have given m, we don't know a. We can find out a using this formula. V is equal to u plus at. From that we are going to get a is equal to v minus u by t. V they were given as 7 meters per second. U they are given as 3 meters per second. T as they are given 2 seconds. Find out a and apply here. That will become F is equal to 10 newtons. When you apply and calculate, you get F is equal to 10 newtons. Now the second question is, now if the force was applied for a duration of 5 seconds, what would be final velocity of the object? Now the force applied for a duration of 5 seconds. When it was applied for 2 seconds, is like that. When applied that force for 5 seconds. See, now we know that the force what we have been applying was 10 newtons, which we have calculated. Now they are asking, if they continue for 5 seconds, what is the final velocity? Then we can use V is equal to u plus at and F is equal to ma. So we don't know the V, we need to find out. We know the initial velocity, we don't know the acceleration. We know the t, that is 5 seconds. From this F is equal to ma, I found out a is equal to F. We already know that F is 10 newtons divided by the mass, the 5 kgs. Substitute in this, we get final velocity is equal to 13 meters per second. Which would require a greater force accelerating a kg mass at 5 meter per second square or a 4 kg mass at 2 meter per second square. See the force they are asking, they have given the masses, they have given the accelerations. Let we need to use F is equal to ma for one mass and F is equal to ma for other mass. See here F1 is equal to m1 a1, F2 is equal to m2 a2. Calculate the values. We get F1 as 10 newtons, F2 as 8 newtons. It's a simple thing. We need to find out the two forces. Whichever the force has got more, that's the acceleration of a 2 kg mass. Because of 2 kg mass and acceleration of 5 meter per second square has got the more force, would require a greater force. A motor car is moving with a velocity of 108 kilometers per hour. That means the motor car is already moving. That means that is the initial velocity. And it takes 4 seconds to stop. That means T is 4 seconds. Stop means there is no velocity. That will become 0. The final velocity will be 0. After the brakes are applied, calculate the force exerted by the brakes on the motor car if its mass along with the passengers is 1000 kgs. Now we know the mass, we need to calculate the force, we don't know the acceleration in this. So you have to use in this force F is equal to ma and V is equal to U plus AT formula all the time. So when we don't know the A, use this formula to find out the A. Here the V final velocity is 0. Initial velocity we know that it is 100 kilometers per hour. The time they were given is 4 seconds. Use this formula and apply it here. You get acceleration as, before calculating, we need to convert this kilometer per hour into meters per second. 108, 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, 1 hour is equal to 60 into 60 seconds. When you calculate this, you will get 30 meters per second. After calculating, we got the force as minus 7500 kg meter per second square. That has become minus 7500 Newton. This minus 7 indicates actually that was running at the speed of 108 kilometers per hour. Then it has become to halt. That's why we have got the negative sign here. So what we did, we used the formula F is equal to ma. We were not knowing acceleration. We used the formula for that, V is equal to U plus AT. In that we know that the car has come to a halt. We have taken, because of that, V as 0 and U we have taken as 108 kilometers per hour. That we converted into meters per second by multiplying 100 and converting an hour is equal to seconds. 1 hour is equal to 60 into 60. We calculated acceleration and substituted in F is equal to ma. M they are given as 1000 kg along with the passengers. Then F is equal to ma will become minus 7500 newtons. Here in this problem, a force of 5 newtons gives a mass m1, an acceleration of 10 meters per second square, and a mass m2, an acceleration of 20 meters per second square. What acceleration would give if both masses were tied together? See, what they are telling is 5 newtons force on m1, it gives 10 meters per second square. 5 newtons of force on m2, it gives an acceleration of 20 meters per second square. So what they are telling is, if we tie both m1 and m2, what will be the acceleration with the same force 5 newtons? Even for this we have to use F is equal to ma. By using F is equal to ma, we know that F is 5 newtons. Calculate m1 using a as 10 meters per second square. Calculate m2 using F as 5 newtons, A as 20 meters per second square. Then we got M1 and M2. Add those two because we are going to tie both the masses. That will become M1 plus M2. So we know that same force we are applying on the tied masses. So we can easily find out F is equal to M using the formula F is equal to MA. A will become F divided by M. We know that F is 5 newtons, M is nothing but M1 plus M2, which we already found out here. We'll go to the next problem, 9.5. The velocity time graph. This is velocity time graph of a ball of mass 20 kg, M given as 20 grams, moving along a straight line on a long table is given in this figure. So the ball has started, this is a velocity line. Then initial velocity will become, this is 20 centimeters per second. When it reaches here, the velocity of a ball will be 0. It is touching the line where the velocity is 0. Then final velocity will be 0. When final velocity becomes 0, the time was 10 seconds. Now the question is, how much force does the table exert on the ball to bring it to rest? So they are telling initial velocity of the ball was 20 centimeters per second and the final velocity is 0, time is equal to 10 seconds. So what is the force exerted by the table on the ball? So that we need to find out F. Even in this problem, we have to use F is equal to MA, V is equal to U plus AT. See, they asked us to find out the force. For the force we have F is equal to MA. M they have already given as 20 grams. A they have not given, but by using this formula V is equal to U plus AT, we can find out A is equal to V minus U by T. We know that V is equal to 0 centimeters per second and U it is equal to 20 centimeters per second T. So we can easily find out the acceleration that will come in, because V becomes 0, acceleration will be in negative sign. Then apply this here. After applying the thing mass, we are going to get minus 2 centimeter per second square. The answer we are going to get is minus 2 centimeter per second square. When you keep it in meters, that will become minus 0.02 meters per second square. Acceleration has become minus 0.02 meters per second square. So when I applied here F is equal to MA, M is given as 20 grams. So to convert that into kgs, we need to divide by 1000. Then the acceleration, what we found out just now, it is minus 0.02 meter per second square. That will become minus 0.0004 newtons. The negative sign implies that the frictional force exerted by the table is opposite to the direction of motion of the ball. So in this problem, we use the formula F is equal to MA and V is equal to U plus AT. We were not knowing A, but we found out A using the formula V is equal to U plus AT. In that final velocity was 0. Then we calculated acceleration and substituted here. In this mass was 20 grams, that we converted into kgs by dividing that by 1000, and the acceleration also we converted to meters per second square. Finally we got the answer minus 0.004 newtons. Third law of motion. The third law of motion states that when one object exerts a force on other object, the second object instantaneously exert a force back on the first. These two forces are always equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. They are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. These forces act on different objects and never on the same object. The third law of motion, that is, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. However, it must be remembered that the action and reaction always act on two different objects simultaneously. Conservation of momentum. There are two balls MA and ME moving at the velocity of initial velocity of UA and UB. The velocity of MA is more than MB, so that after some time it's going to collide with the B. The force FAB acts on this ball, FBA acts on this ball. So after the collision, this is the final velocity of the ball AVA. This is the final velocity of the ball VB. Let us see the explanation. Suppose two objects, two balls A and B, say of masses ME and MB, are traveling in the same direction along a straight line at different velocities UA and UB, respectively as shown in the figure. And there are no other external unbalanced forces acting on them. Let UA, that is the initial velocity of the ball A, is greater than the initial velocity of the ball B, and two balls collide with each other as shown in the figure. During the collision, which lasts for a time of t, the ball A exerts a force AB, FAB, on the ball B, and the ball B exerts a force FBA on ball A. Suppose VA and VB are the velocities of the two balls A and B after the collision respectively. Here VA and VB after the collision. The momenta, that is the plural of momentum, of ball A before and after the collision are m into MA UA, that is m into velocity, and MAVA. This is before the collision, the momentum of ball A. This is the momentum of ball A after the collision. The rate of change of its momentum, that is given by MA, the mass remains same, VA minus UA divided by T. This is the rate of change of that momentum after and before and after the ball A hit the ball B. Similarly, the rate of change of momentum of ball B, that is equal to FBA, during the collision will be MB into VB minus UB divided by T. According to the third law of motion, the force FAB exerted by a ball A on ball B, and thus force FBA exerted by the ball B on ball A, must be equal and opposite to each other. Therefore, FAB is equal to minus FAB. They are equal, opposite. This minus sign for the opposite. That is MA VA minus UA divided by T is equal to minus MB VA minus UB divided by T. Thus, this gives the TT will get cancelled. MA UA plus MB UB is equal to MA VA plus MB VB. When you substitute, cancel this, take the minus sign that side, take the minus sign this side. That is MA VA, MA UA plus MB UB is equal to MA VA plus MB VB. Since MA UA plus MB UB is the total momentum of the two balls A and B before the collision, this is the momentum, total momentum before the collision of both the balls. MA and VA plus MB VB, this is the total momentum after the collisions of the balls A and B. We observe that the total moment of the two balls remains unchanged or conserved provided no other external force acts. This equation provides. As a result of this ideal collision experiment, we say that the sum of the momenta of the two objects before collision is equal to the sum of the momenta after the collision, provided there is no external unbalanced force acting on them. This is known as the law of conservation of momentum. This statement can alternatively be given as the total momentum of the two objects is unchanged or conserved by the collision. Let us see the problems. A bullet of mass 20 grams is horizontally fired with a velocity of 150 meters per second from a pistol of mass 2 kg. What is the recoil velocity of the pistol? So we have two objects here. One is a bullet and the other is the pistol. They have given the velocity 150 meters per second of mass. What is the recoiling? The velocity of the bullet they have given. We need to find out the recoiling velocity of the pistol. When you fire, it comes in the opposite direction. The pistol comes in the opposite direction. We know the formula. We'll see. To find the recoiling of the gun, so these are the things. So before firing, the initial velocity of the gun as well as the initial velocity of the bullet was 0. U1 is equal to 0, U2 is equal to 0. We know that M1U1 plus M2U2 is equal to M1V1 plus M2V2. Because the initial velocities are 0, the left hand side will become 0. We know the masses of both the things they are given. They also given the final velocity of the bullet, which is 150 meters per second. We need to find out what is the recoiling of velocity of the pistol. They have given the mass of this pistol is 2 kgs, the bullet is 20 grams. So we need to have the same units for both. So convert this grams into kgs by dividing 1000. Substitute the values of M1, M2 and V2, then we can find out V1. After substituting all the values, we got recoiling as minus 1.5 meters per second. Negative sign indicates that the direction in which the pistol would recoil is opposite to that of the bullet, that is right to left. Here we converted 20 grams into kgs by dividing by 1000, that has become 0.02 kgs. In this problem, a girl of mass 40 kg jumps with a horizontal velocity of 5 meters per second onto the stationary cart with frictionless wheels. The mass of the cart is 3 kg. What is her velocity as the cart starts moving? Assume that there is no external unbalanced force working in the horizontal direction. Understand the problem. M1 they were given as 40 kgs, M2 they are given as 3 kgs. The girl was running, that initial velocity was 5 meters per second, then only she jumps on the cart. The cart was at stationary, that U2 is 0, then U1 is 5 meters per second. The mass of the thing they are given, velocity, see when he jumps, the cart and the girl moves together. That means velocity V1 and V2 will be equal to V. So we will find out what is her velocity as the cart starts moving. That is the velocity of a girl and as well as the thing is same. We need to find out what is V. See here, the mass of a girl is 40 kgs. She is running, that is the initial velocity, that is 5 meters per second. This was a stationary, U2 is equal to 0. The M2 is 3 kgs. We know that M1U1 plus M2U2 is equal to M1V1 plus M2V2. Because U2 is 0 here, this will become 0. M1U1 substitute here. because v1 is equal to v2 is equal to v, we can take this v as common out. That will become m1 plus m2. We know m1, we know m2, we know m1 u1. Then easily we can easily find out what is v. V is equal to m1 u1 divided by m1 plus m2. After substituting the values, we got v is equal to 4.65 meters per second. Here in this problem, two hockey players of opposite teams, while trying to hit a hockey ball on the ground, collide and immediately become entangled. One has a mass of 60 kgs and was moving with a velocity of 5 meters per second. That is, m1 is 60, the u1 is 5 meters per second, while the other of mass, that is m2, is equal to 55 kgs and moving faster with a velocity of 6 meters per second, that is u2, towards the first player. In which direction, with what velocity will they move after they become entangled? They collide. After collision, they move in one direction. That direction we have to find out, and the velocity. So because they are entangled, the v1 is equal to v2 is equal to v. It becomes the velocity of the both the players will become equal after colliding. Assume that the frictional force acting between the feet of the two players and the ground is negligible. See, the mass of the first player is 50 kgs. His initial velocity was 5 meters per second. The mass of second player was 55 kgs. His initial velocity was 6 meters. Because he was coming in the opposite direction, we have to take that initial velocity as negative. After the collision, the mass has become 55 plus 60 is equal to 115 kgs. We need to find out the velocity because they both of them are entangled. v1 and v2, v1 is equal to v2 is equal to v, which will become, we have to use the formula, the same formula, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Then because v is same for both the players after the collision, that right hand side will become m1 plus m2 into v. Then easily find out substituting the values of in the equation. Now we know how to solve the problem. Let us see how the explanation is given here. That the first player of be moving from left to right, by convention left to right is taken as positive direction, and thus the right to left is the negative direction. If the symbols m and u represent the mass and initial velocity of the two players respectively, subscripts 1 and 2 in the physical quantities refer to the two hockey players. Thus m1 is equal to 60 kg, m2 is equal to 55 kg, u1 is equal to 5 kg, u2 is equal to minus this thing. Substitute it in the formula, you will get that. After substituting, we got v is equal to minus 0.26 meters per second. Thus the two entangled players would move with the velocity of 26 meters per second from right to left, because there is a negative sign. So negative sign we have taken if you are moving from right to left. That is the answer for the first question in this. In which direction they were moving? They are moving from right to left with a velocity of 0.6 meters per second. That is in the direction the second player was moving before the collision.